Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Homes and Huddles. Ashe here, and let's get into another episode. So today's going to be more of a political episode, not truly political, but it's just going to be my idea, my views, who shaped me, why I do what I do, why I am who I am, and why I started this channel and what I want what this channel is intended for. This channel is really intended for me to kind of work on my public speaking, my narrative, who I am, and then why I'm doing what I'm doing. So this channel is about football, it's about sports, it's about real estate, lifestyle, my life. It's about all those things. So this is just really who I am, why I've been doing what I've been doing. So I've had this channel for about a year, and I'm loving the channel. I kind of took a little break, took a little hiatus. It's just I had a lot going on. I had a lot of deaths in the family, and so I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna take a little break, mental break." And that's so we do another podcast called Tapping In, and I'll leave the link in the description if you guys can like, follow, and subscribe to that one as well. Um, I had to take a little break. It was just a lot of family deaths. I had about 4 to 5 family deaths, and we were just like, hey, let's take a little break. Let's go to these funerals. Let's knock it out. And it helped because now I'm kind of back to doing what I'm doing. And as you guys know, I'm writing a book called The Ghost of a City, and that book is based on San Diego. It's a San Diego novel on a teenager who is growing to high school, and he's navigating life as a teenager. He's going through all kind of trauma, all kind of things going on, and he has to figure out, is he going to stay himself, or will he fold to the pressures of society? That's really what the book's about. Will he fold? Will he stay on the path that he's like his lifestyle path? Will he stay on that, or will he fold to the pressure? And so that's just a little bit of kind of what's been going on with me. I'm still doing real estate. I'm still licensed, still trying to keep that thing going. But today's going to be really how I got into real estate, what made me get into real estate. And so, and just what made me who I am. Who is Ashe? And so I wouldn't be me if I weren't to keep it. I wouldn't be me if I didn't keep it real and say that there's a man named Dr. Umar he's had a big impact on my life because he's changed how I view things. He's changed how I see things. He's a psychologist, and the way he explains things and the way that he kind of shows you the real deal, how things are just things are just really black and white. I have to give credit to him. Like Dr. Umar, to my community, and this is just to my community, he is a really impactful person. Someone has to say it. Someone needs to get off of their high horse. They need to really reassess their thinking, and they need to really give Dr. Umar his credit, because being honest, Dr. Umar does not have to do things the way he does things. The way he wakes our community up, and this is coming from a black man. I'm 30 years old, and I see things for what they truly are. So for me, right? I have a mind that you can't just convince me something is something. You can't fart and tell me it's roses. I have a mind, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to think for myself. And so if you're of that cloth where you think for yourself, Dr. Umar is usually spot on with everything that he talks about. Usually everything that he talks about, he's usually spot on. And that's for me. And I've watched a lot of his videos. And to me, it's changed my life and how I do things. It's changed how I see things. Dr. Umar is like, this is me giving him his roses. And I'm going to name the episode after him too. I'm going to say, hey, this is how Dr. Umar impacted my life. Because as a 30-year-old man, you have to see things how they truly are. And I'm black. So I'm in the real estate industry. Now that I'm in the real estate industry and I've done my continuing education, I'm learning about redlining. I'm learning about blockbusting. I'm learning about imminent domain. And these things they're kind of eye opening because so I'm in the real estate industry and these things still go on to this day. They're not it's never going to be said. It's never going to be out in the open. You're not going to know, but these things are engineered. The quiet conversations that aren't had, that's what goes on. And Dr. Umar is spot on. He's spot on. Like, because I'm in the industry, I can see things for what they truly are. HUD, like, I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but HOA is a way to keep people out. HOA, I know they say they protect the asset and the value, but HOA is a way to keep people out. That's just one of the things that I've noticed as being in real estate. It can seem harmless. A lot of these things can seem harmless, but it's a way to keep people out. And I'm just I'm in a professional setting, and I probably shouldn't be saying that, but I'm just noticing that it's real black and white, the haves versus the have-nots. To me, I think Dr. Umar is spot on. He is spot on. I would love to have Dr. Umar on my channel. I would love to interview him, honestly, because I would love to pick his brain, because the things that he talks about, he said, like, he'll predict something before it even happens. And it's usually every time I'll send him a text to that it's real too. That is his real number. Usually when something happens, I'll be like, hey, Dr. Umar, you were right on this. I'll send him a screenshot. I'm like, he's a brilliant mind. And for the people in our community, y'all have to stop, at least in public. If you guys are doing this in public, to me, it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't make sense. We should not beat up on a man who is literally fighting for our community. We have no one fighting for our community. Why are you guys the ones downplaying him? He has a lot of support. I love him. I'll support anything he does, because he's a man that we need to protect. He's a jewel. And this is my letter to him. So I'm gonna send, as soon as I'm done recording this and it goes live on YouTube, I'm sending it to him, because I'm gonna be like, hey, Doc, this is what you mean to me. You changed my life. He changed me. I went from a blind teenager. I was colorblind. Grew up in the church. I was still colorblind. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to use it to do any harm, but it's good to know so you can protect yourself. I think it's good to have the knowledge that he preaches, because it is good to protect yourself. You need to know what's going on, because there are certain things that I used to think were kind of innocent, but they were really like acts. They were hostile acts that I never would have thought, like, oh, wow, like, kind of like with my blind eyes, I'm like, oh, that was nothing. No, I shouldn't think nothing of that. But it's once you wake up to it, you can never go blind to it. And I think what a lot of the people who are like kind of his detractors, I think they don't really want to be woken up to the real truth of what's going on, what's really going on. And what he preaches, if you're of my community, if you're a black person, a black male, black woman, even if you disagree with them, you have to take the blessing with the curse. Take it all, internalize it, and figure out for yourself, hey, does that make sense? Because he has a lot of views that I don't agree with, but I'm going to take the good stuff that he says. I'm going to take the building with community first. Because at the end of the day, we should be building up our community. It's our community. No one's going to build it for us. No one. No one's going to build our community for us. And that's what he preaches. He says you could do all the other stuff you want to do, but can you focus? Can you prioritize us at least? And to me, that's not a big ask. He's telling you, hey, if you want to go do what you want to go do, you want to live your lifestyle. But can you focus on black people first? That's not a big ask. That's not a big ask. And his detractors need to stop. If they're gonna talk about him in private groups. Don't do it on YouTube to where you guys are jeopardizing the whole thing. You're jeopardizing the school. He's built the school, but every time you see FDMG, you see it in a negative light. It should not be like that. Especially coming from us, from people who we don't have black schools that teach what he's going to be teaching. We don't have the things that he's trying to do, we need to be in support of it. We do. This is coming from a young black man. I'm not gonna go with everybody else's flow. I think for myself, and I know for sure, he's pretty honest. Dr. Umar's pretty honest. Y'all can say what y'all want to say about him, but everything he seems really, really sincere to me. I've never met him in the flesh, but Dr. Umar comes off as sincere, and when he talks, it comes off like he's a big bro. He's just your neighborhood big bro. He's giving you knowledge. He's giving you wisdom. If you've seen the video with Rod, he did it with, his name was Rod. He's a live streamer. He was just giving him wisdom, dropping jewels on him. And I had to write him. He actually wrote me back. He was just like, "Hey, appreciate it." But I told him, I'm like, that live stream you did changed my life because I was going through it pretty bad. Like I was going through some deep, deep depression. My life was just kind of like spiraling out of control because I was going through some family drama. I'm not going to get too much into it now just because I'm still going through that drama. But someone who is my big brother, I'm not going to go into detail, but I was going through some brother trouble where me and my brother weren't seeing eye to eye. And it sucks because my brothers are like my dads. So like I have a bunch of siblings and they work more like my fathers because it's like they're always have knowledge. Even my sisters, they work more as my mothers because they're consistently giving me game. They're consistently telling me like what to do, what not to do because I'm the youngest of 8. And so it the dynamic, it was just I was just in a real dark place. I was arguing a lot. I was just real negative. But then I saw that live and it just changed how I saw things like in a big major way because he was giving him emotional advice. The dude Rod lost his mother and he was just telling him like, "Hey, like there's deep demons that you're going to have to deal with." And it's a 3-hour live. And it was real. Sorry, you guys, I'm burping. It was really, really good. And so I was like, to me, it was just inspirational. Watching that video was truly, truly inspirational. Dr. Umar, I'm a big supporter. I'm gonna donate to the school, and I feel like everyone should donate to the school. If I'll ask him for the link, and if he gives me the link, I'll spread it. But I'm definitely gonna donate to the school. FDMG is a real school, so if anyone has something to say about it, know that there is positive support. Dr. Umar has a lot of positive support, but it kind of gets overwhelmed with all the negativity. And to me, that needs to stop because our community, we don't have much. And then if we do have a gym, I feel like that gym needs to be protected. And that's going to be it for the political. But I'm going to kind of get into how I got into real estate and who I am as a person. So I'm the youngest of 8. My name is Ashe. I'm married husband, and the youngest of 8. Me and my family were really, really close. I have a lot of cousins and stuff like that. My cousins, it's funny because my cousins kind of work as my brothers as well. So I have a really big family, and so we're really close. Sorry, I'm burping. Sorry, guys, but I have a big family, and so I'm so sorry, guys. I'm professional. Big family, and we grew up in San Diego, and so my family has gang ties, and it's unfortunate. It's a blessing and a curse because it's kind of how our family built a reputation in San Diego. So like growing up, a lot of things that happened to other kids didn't happen to us because who my family was, which was it was a blessing, but it was also a curse because people kind of also associated you with those things. And so sometimes even though you weren't of that cloth, people would think you're of that cloth. So for me, luckily we didn't go down that path, and so we lived in Claremont, and that's kind of how we lived our life. We lived our life as like borderline. We were poor, but you wouldn't know because we lived in Claremont. Like we were really like broke, like poor. And so we lived in Claremont, and life was pretty cool because you got boomers. You have just like we went from living in the inner city, the hood, like living in the hood, to like we're kind of now out out in the like kind of suburbs, kind of like the suburbs. And so life was pretty cool. Ended up getting a job at 17 working at Smart and Final, and that's kind of how I built my work ethic. My dad is a workaholic. So if you guys know my dad, or anyone who does know my dad 24 hours a day he's working. He could work a job and then go and work another job. He loves money. And so that's kind of where I built mine from. So at 17 I started working at Smart and Final, did my job, worked my way up from a courtesy clerk all the way to a produce manager. And big shout out to this dude named Nathan Banks. Me and him, we've shared so much game. He's now in the Navy. He's really successful. Big shout out to him. Big shout out to all of my Smart and Final family. If you guys are out there, I love y'all. Y'all made me a big y'all. You guys are big in what made me who I am. And so Smart and Final in Claremont, store 368. I still remember. I still even remember the number. And so I'm also going to give a shout out to my Ace Hardware family because that was my second family. So a man named Kevin Coleman, he ended up hiring me because he saw how I worked. He was like, hey, you work every time I come here, you're working hard. And so he was like, hey, if you're ever looking for a second job, come work at Ace Hardware. So I was working at Smart and Final for about like, I would say I was working there for about 7 years. Nah, about 7 years. Yeah, about 7 years. So I worked there for about 7 years. Then I was like, okay, I kind of wanted more. So I started working at Ace Hardware as well. And I worked there for about 2 years. And I was just working, working, working. I'm like, okay, cool, cool, cool. Everything's nice, calm and steady. But I kind of got fed, not really fed up, but it was the same thing. I really wasn't progressing. I wasn't going down. I wasn't going up. I was just kind of at a stall in my life. And so my friend Nathan, he went to the Navy. And so me and him would kind of talk, and he was like, have you ever thought about it? And his grandpa was a guy who would come into Smart and Final a lot. And so me and him started talking, and I was like, you know what? My sister joined the army, and she's a big influence in my life as well. I was like, I'm gonna join the army, but I knew I had asthma, but I was like, hey, I'm gonna see if I can make it through. I'm gonna see if I can make it through. And so I tried to join the army. I was real worried about it, so I would hit my friend up. His name is Quintel. He was in the army, and he had asthma, but he made it through. And so I would write him like every day. I was like, hey, as I'm going through my training, I'm like, hey, do you think I'm gonna make it? Do you think do you think it'll work? Like, hey, I'm thinking I'm gonna do it. I have a MEPS date. Okay, I've got a ship out date. Like everything's going swell. And so I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, I think I might be able to make it 3 months without an inhaler. But I get to boot camp, Fort Jackson. It was no joke. Like they were putting us to work. And like about a month in, my asthma showed up, and then I get discharged. Like the first sergeant was like, hey, this is more of a liability. Like you can't have asthma in the army. You can't have asthma in the army. So hey, we're gonna have to discharge you. So I got my DD 214, and then I come back to San Diego, and I'm like, okay, what do I want to do? I've always wanted. So this is the thing. I've always wanted to go to college, right? But because my family was so poor, I was like, I can't really work right now. So I'm like, I'm taking, like, for me, right? I'm taking care of my mom. Like, my mom is I'm taking care of my wife. Like, I'm the head. I'm taking care of my mom. Like, she's my wife, and I'm the head of the household. So I was like, you know what? I can't really afford to go to school right now. Let me keep working, keep working. So I go, keep working, keep working, keep working. And then I start doing Uber. But this is where kind of like my life really, really did change. So I was working. I've been working with Uber for about 9 years. The whole time, I never knew with Uber they can pay for your schooling. So I tried to go to Miramar back in the day, about, like, I want to say it was like 2014, right after I graduated, and it just kind of led nowhere. So I was like, okay, now that time has kind of passed, I'm like, I'll entertain that thought again. So how I got into real estate, and this is what really changed my life, is hearing Dr. Umar, and then my family got kind of ripped off in a real estate scam. Not really a real estate scam, but my grandmother, she was in a part of a real estate deal that they used her. She didn't have all the knowledge that she was supposed to have in, like, the real estate. Like, there was certain things that he was supposed to protect her as a professional, he did not do. And that's what made me think even of getting into the business. And so I'm doing Uber. Long story short, I'm doing Uber. I'm driving. I'm doing really well at it. I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. Uber's like, I'm very, very happy that I got into doing Uber. So if you were ever thinking about doing Uber or Lyft, do it, because even if they pay little, even if people are saying that they pay little, the benefit of it is you get to have side gigs that you can do. So Uber is not the end goal. The end goal is the things that you can do while doing Uber. So I try to tell my wife this all the time, because she's like, "Oh, why are you so in love with Uber?" And I'm like, "I'm not in love with Uber. I'm in love with Uber because it allows me to do real estate. It allows me to do podcasts. It allows me to write a book on the side. It allows me to go back to school." That's kind of, if you gain anything from this podcast tonight, that's what I want that to be. Don't let whatever your job is be the vehicle. Let it be the Uber that's getting you to where you need to go. So if you have a regular day job, never forget any of your side jobs that you have. So if you've always wanted to write a book, if you've always wanted to maybe be a CEO of a business, or if you ever wanted to start a cooking channel, or whatever your goals, dreams, aspirations are, never stop doing that. That's what I'm a product of. Never stop doing what you've been doing, because if you'd known me back in the day, you'd be like, "What the hell? You're writing a book? You're going back to school? You're a real estate?" You wouldn't even have thought I was a real estate. People who knew me back in the day would have never thought I would become a real estate agent. Now I'm doing public speaking. I'm doing YouTube. I'm just, things are just really good. But I'm gonna get into how I got into real estate. So I met a man by the name of Brandon Burrow. Shout out to Brandon Burrow. Brandon Burrow. I think he lives in Virginia, I think now. He moved from San Diego, but when I met him, it was doing an Uber ride. He was going to a Padre game. I was taking him to a Padre game. He was on the phone most of the time, honestly. It was pretty funny, because I'm glad even though he was on the phone most of the time, he just seen, I guess, he must have known I had a good spirit, because after he got off of the phone, we were damn near close to the stadium. And he was just like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to a Padre game." He was going for a networking event with his with his real estate brokerage, which is the brokerage that I'm at now. Excuse me, guys. He was going to a Padre game with his real estate brokerage, the brokerage I'm at now, Keller Williams. When I drop him off, he's like, "Oh," because in the little short time that we did talk, we had a pretty good conversation. He was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about getting into real estate?" I was like, "No, I've never never thought about that." He's like, "You have something." Like, I don't remember the exact words he says, but he was basically like, "You have some type of charismatic energy." Whatever it was, he said he noticed it in me. And so that's why I'm gonna give him the biggest shout out because he changed my life as well. Brandon Burrow, if you're out there, appreciate you. Thank you. I truly appreciate because you changed my life and you changed my family's trajectory. Because even though I'm not there yet, I know I can get there with what I'm learning now. And so he was like, "Yeah, have you ever thought about getting into real estate?" I never thought about getting into real estate because I was like, I'm just doing what I do. And so I'm kind of mad I didn't get on it right away. But about 2 years passed by, and I was like, you know what? Because he gave me the link to the school that he attended. He was like, oh, I went to an online school. It only takes about 3 to 4 months. And he gave me the full blueprint on how to go from start to close, like from the beginning to the end. I'm like, okay, that seems pretty cool. And so like I just wrote him. I was like, "Hey, like, what was the name of the school again?" And he remembered me, and he remembered everything else. He was like, "Oh, it's called First Tuesday Online. You could get paid for going to school. This is this, and that." And he gave me the first Tuesday was the school. Shout out to them. Big shouts out. First Tuesday Online. It's a 3 month real estate program to get your license and get ready to basically take the state exam. And so I did that, and I'm not gonna lie, I got my license during COVID, so it was pretty horrendous because you would book a test and you would get canceled. You would book a test, it'll get canceled, and so like it just wasn't reliable. So I was like, I'm never gonna get my license, and so it just was a bad time for me, honestly. It was a dark time because I'm like, dude, I'm never gonna get my license, and I was kind of banking on it. I'm like, I hope I get into it because I saw the kind of upside in it, and I eventually get my license and I pass, and so it was cool, but it kind of sucks because I missed out on that 2021, 2022 market where the interest rates were really, really low, and so I kind of missed out on the wave, and I got into it at a pretty bad time, but it's still good because I got into it. And so now I'm doing real estate. I'm loving real estate. It's changing my life. I'm doing open houses. I'm meeting all these high value people, other agents at my office. They're really good. Like the mentors that I have in my office are really, really great. I love them. They're more like family to me, and so I really do love it here because it's provided me a vehicle to where I can do this. Like I'm here at the office right now, 10 o'clock. I'm shooting a podcast. They give you all the tools that you need to be great. So that's kind of where that's why I'm making this channel, because it's like if anyone can be a motivation to you, let it be me, and let me tell you, there is nothing stopping you from doing what you want to do, and you can be anything you want to be. You can literally be anything that you want to be, and don't let anything stop you because it's never too late. The first thing that I would say is if you missed that opportunity back in the day, you have a chance today to basically reamend that and redo that. So I'm gonna probably end here, but I want to give you guys motivation. And this is just me kind of working out my public speaking, working out what I like to do and stuff like that. Oh no, actually, let me give you guys the end piece of that, because what got me to where I'm at today, why I'm so motivated, and what's been driving me was I lost my cousin and my auntie back in last year, 2024. Yeah, well, yeah, 2 years ago. It would be 2024, but it's really like last year because they died late in the year. But their deaths woke me up because these are people that I went to. My auntie would take me to school. My cousin was more like a brother. We've bathed together. Me and my cousins, we used to take showers together. Like literally, my grandmother would be like, she, because it was us four. So she would like, y'all not doing individual shower. I'm gonna put you guys all in the shower. Y'all are all about to shower together. And that's just how we did. We were so close. If you saw Willie somewhere, you saw Renee somewhere. You saw me somewhere. You saw Walter. You saw us all. So when we would go to church, you would see all four of us. If we was at a basketball game, even if we're in church shoes, you would see us. You'd see us. It's all four of us. And so my cousin, he ended up passing away, and it was really hard on our family because we had already lost my older brother. My older brother, he was killed at 21 to gang violence in 1997, and so we had already lost Arnold, and so my family was like, hey, like Arnold, like that was the name. He was the name in our family. Like he died young, way too young, and so when Walter died, it was just like, wow, like for me, it was eye opening because I knew people could die young because I had tons of friends who died young. Like my friend Darius Walker, he died young. Aaron Jordan, and his death really hurt because Aaron was like, I think he was only 18 or 19 when he passed, and he had so much life. Like Aaron could have been a comedian. He was that funny, and so when people die young, it never really registered to me that things like that could happen. And when it happened to my own like family, it really woke me up. Like, dude, this can really be gone tomorrow. This can be gone tomorrow. And I was like, man, it just woke something different in me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm about to start living life to the fullest. I'm about to really all of the dreams that I've kind of procrastinated. I'm like, I'm gonna start doing them. What am I waiting on? What am I really waiting on? Life is passing me up. And so that's when I decided to we first started doing the podcast. So I do this podcast, and we have another podcast where this one is more of just real estate, my life, sports, things that I'm really interested in. I talk about, and I'll like if Dr. Umar is if he wants to come on here and do an interview, I would love to do an interview with him because I would love to pick his brain. But this channel is just things that I'm interested in, and I hope that it can build an algorithm. But tapping in is more of like a podcast with me, my wife, my brother, my brother-in-law, and we just talk, and my other friend, and we just talk, excuse me, we talk trendy things. So whatever's going on in the world, whatever's going on in San Diego, we talk about it, and we kind of have like a discussion on it, and it's a really good podcast. It's funny because that podcast is actually bigger than this podcast. So that's why I'm trying to grow this one, and I'm trying to build my own content, my own lane for this one, and I hope I can do it. But that's where this motivation started for me. And then so I realized that Uber will pay for your schooling. So if y'all did not know, take advantage of that. Uber will pay for your school. So I'm going to Arizona State University online, and big shouts out to Arizona State University for providing that platform to let us go to school as Uber drivers. We're able to go to school online, on demand. It's really cool because it gives me what I've been looking for. I've been wanting to go back to school. I'm big in education, but I just never had a way to go and pay for it. You know what I mean? So it gives me a way for free because I'm a diamond Uber driver. Like I go hard at what I do, I go hard at, and I become successful at it. So that's why, like, if I dedicate myself to this, I'll become successful. So that's just a little bit about me, you guys. Today was more of just like my lifestyle, my update, who I am, who is Deontay Ashe. This is what I'm going to be doing from now on. I'm going to talk homes and huddles, but I'm also talk my lifestyle, what I'm going through. This is just a way for me to do my public speaking because I can't do it on a stage. This is just a way for me to kind of vent, talk my talk, and kind of just get my words out, get whatever I'm going through out. Put it on a platform, because then when I go back and reflect, I can say, oh, like, that's what I was going through at that time. So you're going to get more episodes. You're going to get more of me. And I think it's going to be a good thing. You guys are going to like the channel. You guys are going to like the content. I'll do more content. And videos are going to come out more often. So I'm really excited for the book, Ghost of a City. That's going to be coming like in the spring or summer, maybe I'll make it a summer release because I'm tightening it up. I'm changing the ending of the book, but I'm really excited about that. Ghost of a City. I'm in school. I'm doing 2 podcasts, and I'm just working like a maniac. So if you guys like the channel, if you guys like what I'm doing, like, comment, and subscribe, you guys, please. I want to grow this channel. I want to grow the algorithm, and yeah. Support what I'm doing. I hope you guys have a great, great night. Like, comment, and subscribe. Deontay, he's out.